Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Jasmine here. Hope you guys are doing great. Last video, I talked a little bit about our rental contract and how you can tweak it according to your business needs. This video is all about how to use Google to manage your photo booth bookings. So I hope that it's helpful. I wanted to just touch on some of the key points. This is a great way to manage your bookings as long as you're very consistent and you have a ritual. So I'm going to show you here how we use Google Calendar and Google Drive to manage our bookings. So first things first is you'll want to make sure that you have a Google account set up for your business. If you're using G Suite like we are, it'll be no problem. If you have your work email connected to it, you can go ahead and pull that up. The next thing you'll want is you'll want to make sure that you're only adding people to your calendar that have already given you some sort of deposit, which ensures that they're going to be, proceeding with the booking with you. You don't want to add someone that just kind of gave you their word and said, yeah, go ahead and put me down. I'll call you tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. I'll tell you that. We did that a few times and it just kind of backfired on us. So rule of thumb, only put people on your calendar that have actually given you money and that you know for a fact are going to move forward with their rental. So as you can see, I have December of this year pulled up just as an example. So we'll pretend that that John Doe booked a photo booth and that they booked it for December 5th because why not? Because December 5th is super popular for a Christmas party. So let's say you already got their deposit. Okay, it's a sure thing. They're going to go through with your service. So at this point, you can go ahead and pull up your Google Calendar. You can expand and let's move me over here. And what you'll be able to do is obviously, most people know how to use Google Calendar, but there's a particular way that we used it, and that's what I'm going to be showing you today. So first things first is you want to make sure to include, obviously, your customer's name. So let's say customer's John Doe. If you have more than one photo booth set up, I would highly recommend that you come up with a initial system or a some sort of shorter way for you to identify what setup they're going to be needing that day. So if it's, for example, let's say this customer is renting our green screen. So we use GS for green screen. So at this point, we know that John Doe is going to use a green screen that day, green screen setup. And the other part that I like to include in the title of the event is whether or not they owe a balance. So sometimes they might just give a deposit and they still owe a balance. In this case, let's just pretend like he paid in full. So I would actually log it as paid. And this just gives you very easy to find information. As soon as you're looking on your phone or on your computer, you'll be able to see, okay, Saturday, December 5th, I have John Doe. I'm going to have to prepare for a green screen ahead of time. Now, the next portion here would be to log the time frame that they've requested your services. So let's say John requested our service from 7 to 10. Okay. And then the next thing you'll want to add is a location. So let's just say that he's getting married at Reunion Tower, downtown Dallas. Okay. For those of you that are not from Dallas, that's our iconic tower with a ball on top. Pretty cool. Have a restaurant up there. If you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. So, okay, we've got name, time, date, location, and then we also have another section here where obviously if you have more than one calendar that or more than one account connected to your Google Calendar, you'll just want to make sure that you're logging the event on the appropriate Google Calendar account. And then the next thing you'll want to do is add a description. Now, we were very thorough whenever we got event information. And so this is where you can add a lot of little pieces of information that will save you a lot of trouble, and you'll be able to just easily glance on your phone. So I recommend the first things first is to obviously, once you send the customer the contract and they confirm all the details of the actual event, you'll be able to come back in here and fill this information in. But I just want to show you what the end result would be like. So first things first is you would want to have a contact at venue. Okay, so this would be not John Doe. Let's just say John Doe is the groom. He is going to be busy all night, with his wife, and you don't want to bother him. Whenever you're pulling up and you have a question about where you need to set up or who is going to pay for your parking ticket, so you want to make sure that you have this information on file. So let's just say that that Jennifer Castro is the wedding coordinator. And then you would obviously have her phone number. Okay. So that's important. The next thing that you want to make note of is any special requests or parking and loading, actually. So you'll want to log if there's any specific instructions for the parking and loading. So for this case, tell security that your vendor park on south entrance. Okay, something like that. You'll get this information from your customer and you'll just want them to be as detailed as possible. Sometimes what they do is they'll refer you back to their coordinator at the venue, and then you can really get all the information you need. But this just saves you lots of trouble. And then you'll also want to log any special requests. So this could mean that they want, this is a masquerade theme, but let's just say it's only black and white. So it's like a black and white party. So this helps, obviously, whenever you're preparing for this event, you'll be able to reference these notes and make sure that you take the things that you need or that you buy props ahead of time for the black and white party and that you're prepared and the customer is happy. So those are some of the things that you'll want to include there. Okay, so once you have all of that information, what you'll want to do is invite anyone that's going to be attending the event or working the event with you, and you want to make sure that they accept the invite. This is crucial because if they don't hit accept, then this event won't pop up on their Google Calendar on their phone when they're checking. And, you might be under the impression they're going to work the event because you sent the invite, but let's just say they've never checked their email and then they never knew that they had to work. So that happened to us before. So I highly recommend that you make sure that whoever you're inviting to work the event or whoever's going to be working with you is fully aware and that you've confirmed that they are attending and that they hit accept. And that'll, once they hit accept, then you'll see a little check mark here and it'll say, so-and-so is attending the event or has accepted the invite. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was the address here. So for example, as I was typing this in, you can see two options came up, and this is just based off of Google Maps data that they have stored. One of the things that I always did was actually go into Google myself and double check the address of the venue. Okay, so as you can see, 300 Reunion Boulevard is the actual address, but when you look at the calendar, it doesn't have the 300, it just says Reunion Tower and the zip. So I would always feel more comfortable just honestly copying and pasting this address into Google Calendar, and this way you're able to ensure that it's the absolute exact address. And of course, you'd have your contract to compare it to. So your customer would also give you the address of the venue so you can compare it to that and make sure that that's accurate. Now, there have been times where customers make a typo or do a typo, and you have to go back and just double check anyway. I highly recommend doing that. It's even just one number off on a zip, or if it's a different north versus south, it completely can change your whole direction. And so just make sure to double check everything. So now that we have all of this information here, let's just go ahead and hit save. Again, you would have invited whoever's working with you. And now you can see here, Saturday, December 5th, 7 o'clock, you have John Doe's event, which is a green screen, and it's paid. Of course, if it's not paid, then you can say, balance due, or payment due, something to remind you, okay, this person, I need to collect payment beforehand, or however you manage your payments. And that way you're not forgetting to ask for the payment. Now, obviously, as you have more events, it's really easy for you to gauge when you get phone calls. It's easy for you to determine whether or not you can handle another event, especially if you have multiple photo booths. And as you grow and you start to, maybe have 2 or 3 booths, and you have more than one person working for you, you can also add the name of the person who is working the event at the end. So let's just say I'm working the event. So you can do something like that, and that way, if you look at the day view for that day, you'll be able to easily see who is working, and you'd be able to see all the other events that you have for that day. So I hope that was helpful. The next part of it would be to use Google Drive to your advantage. So here I already have mine pulled up. What I would do is use Google Drive to keep track and organize your events date by date. So I would actually do like a full 2020 folder, and then within the 2020 folder, I would have the months broken down. So as you can see, I created a folder here in December 2020, and then inside of this folder, I would add the name of the customer. So let's just say John Doe, and then we would log the date, okay, create, and then at this point, you would have obviously all your other events here, and you're able to use this as a filing cabinet and store all of the information for that customer. So this could be the receipt for their deposit, the rental agreement that they've signed, any other like parking or loading information that they sent you via email, and just anything related to the event. You could add you would want to add their templates inside of this folder, any revisions that you've made or the final draft, anything related to the customer. It's awesome to just keep in one place, and you can go back and just also store the information once you're done with the event. So let's say that you're cleaning out your computer, your booth computer. Let's say you do it like every other week. You can actually come in here and store those files for that event inside of the customer if you really wanted to get detailed. But yeah, it's just a great way for you to store everything in one place, stay organized, and just make sure that all of your information is accurate, and that you're able to work that event without a problem. So if you found this video useful or helpful in any way, please let me know down below. And if there's any other videos that you want me to make for you, I'm happy to do them. Just let me know, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.